A very warm welcome to the Art Vlog Art Lovers with me, George Dopamine. On this cold, frosty early evening, I'm here at the White Cube in Bermondsey to explore some new works by contemporary great Antony Gormley. Gormley is one of our most well-known public artists. He's 73 now, and it's probably fair to say he's also an artist that's touched more of the British public than any other through his vast sculptures like Angel of the North, which is seen by hundreds of thousands of people as they steam up the A1. Or another place on the beach in Merseyside where dog walkers view his work staring out to sea. It's fair to say that as well as being well loved and originally critically acclaimed, he won the Turner Prize in 1994. Some people in the art world criticise him for being a bit of a one-trick pony. Having said that, I'm really excited to see these 5 new works here at White Cube. It's always a treat when the White Cube put on a show from their stable of very well known artists. Last time I was here was to see the Anselm Kiefer show, and that totally changed the gallery space. So I'm really excited to come inside and see some new works by Antony Gormley. Come and join me as we head inside, and don't forget to subscribe to the Art Vlog and hit that notification bell for continuous updates on the UK art scene. The first of 5 new works is called Retreat, and it's composed of 8 concrete bunkers which march down the central corridor spine of the gallery, leading you to the rest of the show. Each of these concrete bunkers are cast to the scale of the artist's body in 55mm thick reinforced concrete, and they take on a variety of poses. And what's really interesting is you can actually get into these bunkers. According to Gormley, there's an access point at the bottom of them, and you're literally could be cocooned in a bunker for one. That little hole that you can see there quite near the top on that top block is an eye-stroke airspace as well. And I love the juxtaposition of meaning in this. Obviously, a concrete bunker could be like a horrible claustrophobic prison if you actually went inside one, which obviously you can't in the gallery. But it could also be a very, very safe space, protected from the chaos of the world. It's actually a really interesting and powerful first work, which takes Gormley's use of his body in a new direction, in my opinion, and makes a comment on society today. Retreat is a really thought-provoking word, but resting place is, in my opinion, the showstopper. When you first look at it, it just seems a mess of clay blocks. And it's only when you sort of walk into the gallery and walk amongst the blocks that you begin to recognise absolutely individual human forms. And in fact, Gormley has produced 244 body forms in this labyrinth-like terrain which you can navigate. And you're ultimately led to question, what is this? Is this a beach? Is this the aftermath of a disaster, which could be on a beach? Is it a battlefield? Each individual block human form takes on a different persona. Is this form, for example, ultimately relaxing, or are they dead or badly injured? This one that you're just about to see here seems to be crumpled in the fetal position. For me, this is a really interesting work which tries to reconcile our uniqueness and individualism with collective experience, and the fact that many of the problems in the world today are going to require collective effort to solve. It's also quite a sad piece because none of the individual human forms are really connecting with each other. None are reaching out to touch each other or to help each other, even though they are experiencing this collective experience in this vast urban-like landscape. So I'll let you have a look and just wander amongst these and explore for a little bit. in the North Gallery, we see a series of 6 sculptures which are part of an ongoing series which Gormley calls Weave Works, and I've seen some of these before. I think they were at the Royal, there were some examples at the Royal Academy. As you can see, they're made of lattice cast iron bars which have been exposed to the elements and allowed to rust. With these works, I think Gormley was asking the question, how can you begin to describe the indoors of the body or the body at rest? These sculptures, as you can see, allow light and space to pass through them. They create, and they're intimately, by leaning against the gallery walls, interacting with the space. And the exhibition notes say that we are sort of made aware of our own position in relation to them within the gallery. Bind sees three ribbons of rolled black steel, as you can see, extend from the floor to the ceiling and to the walls of the gallery. And in the middle is this kind of body, which is obviously recognisable, but is a mess of tangled lines. And obviously, it's again a bit like Test, which you saw in the other room. In the other gallery, is kind of making full use of the space and interacting with it as well. Stand kind of towers above you, and it reminded me of a game of Jenga. And as anyone who's played it knows, Jenga, the building of a Jenga tower becomes increasingly precarious. And this sculpture felt precarious as you circled it. And I suppose as a result, obviously, it takes a vague human form which changes as you move round it. But basically, it reminded me certainly of our vulnerability and our body's vulnerability as well.
Oh well, our lovers, I hope you enjoyed that exploration there into Antony Gormley's Body Politic at the wonderful White Cube in Bermondsey. I did enjoy it actually. There were 5 works and I thought 2 of them were really powerful. I thought the other 3 were a bit average, but the 2 that were powerful reminded me, because I haven't seen Gormley, hadn't engaged with Gormley since that Royal Academy retrospective in 2019, just before COVID and before the art vlog actually, that he is one of our greatest expressors of the human condition, and I really was reminded of that. And I'm a bit down on my species, our species, with the environmental destruction that we're causing and the war and devastation around the world. And yet he made me chuckle and sort of think, you know, sometimes we're not that bad. We're kind of a bit idiosyncratic, a bit eccentric, and we're all different, and that sort of powerful hint to individualism. So that was powerful. It moved me, especially the two works which I'm sorry I don't know the names. So what I'm going to do is head back to Dopamine Heights. It's cold, hopefully via a few beers with friends, and then tomorrow probably share further thoughts. So I'll see you back there.
Well, I've made it back to Dopamine Heights, had a little bit of a rest, and my thoughts have really consolidated what I shared with you on my walk away from the gallery. I basically, two works really spoke to me, Retreat and Resting Place. If we start with Resting Place, I thought that was a very, very interesting companion to Gormley's most famous studio work, gallery work, The Field for the British Isles, which won the Turner Prize in the early 1990s. Whereas that work saw these figures, these little clay figures huddled together looking up at you from the floor as you stepped into the gallery, and there was a real sense of warmth and community in that work. The disparate, isolated nature of the individual body forms in Resting Place, which I think was a comment on immigration and migration, was very bleak. And in fact, Gormley said in an interview in the Evening Standard, the show is trying to materialise our common state now, and it's kind of quite chilling in a way as we grapple with all the multiple issues facing us in the world. I thought that Retreat was a chilling new way of him using his body, and very much an early 2020s kind of comment on society. This idea of a personalised body-shaped bunker, and as I said in the commentary, which can mean both a place of greater safety, but also a prison-like claustrophobic nightmare, really spoke to me. And even though the work is aesthetically quite plain compared to Resting Place, these colourless concrete blocks, the concept was really interesting. I thought the other three works were more about Gormley revisiting and riffing on ideas which I've already seen lots of. And as a result, I think over time they've kind of lost the power that they had in the 80s and 90s when I first came across them. So I wasn't too enamoured by them, but I did feel, at 73, this is an artist who's still fizzing with some new ideas as well around the common theme of body and humanity. So I hope you enjoyed that. Do subscribe to the Art Vlog, because as well as some shows which I've Sarah Lucas and UVA, which I've had actually filmed for a while, I'm hoping to visit some exhibitions which I haven't yet covered, like David Hockney possibly at the National Portrait Gallery, and also round up what I think the top 10 shows that I visited in London this year, and I've been to most of the major ones, are. Also, after that, there'll be one of my favourite things to do on the Art Vlog, and that is to look forward to 2024 and anticipate some of the delights that the art world has for us. Do subscribe, hit that notification bell, and most importantly of all, get out there and explore this rich UK art scene.